The two-handed backhand drive. The two-handed backhand has many positive features as compared with the single-handed backhand. Like other strokes in tennis, it is individual as to whether a player should use either a single or two-handed backhand. Some positive features of the two-handed backhand include the use of only two parts of the body, the hips and trunk. The single-handed backhand uses 5 parts. Easy use of the grip by the use of two hands. When a player is stretched to the backhand side, a one-handed slice backhand is used, whether the player normally uses a one- or two-handed backhand. Less muscular strength is required than for a one-handed backhand. High bouncing balls can be hit aggressively. Taking a loopy ball on the rise. At impact, two hands absorb the shock instead of one. Disguise is similar to the one-handed topspin backhand. Groppel tends to believe that it can be learned more easily than the single-handed backhand. Although two-handed players are quite individual with their grips, it is recommended that for a right-handed player, the right hand should be an Eastern backhand or continental grip.
And the left hand should be placed close to the right hand and comfortably with an Eastern forehand or semi-Western forehand grip. Such a grip allows more flexibility for a variety of shots, especially the one-handed slice backhand on the backhand side. The big advantage of a two-handed backhand is that only two body parts are utilised to swing the racket forward towards impact. The model shows the following features. Just prior to stepping forward, the hips and trunk rotate backwards. The racket can be lifted in a loop behind the body for more power. The player steps forward, thus transferring linear momentum. The hips begin to rotate. The ball is hit in front of the front foot. Note that the racket head is vertical and the racket is parallel to the ground. The hips cause the trunk to rotate. Both arms rotate with the trunk while no movement of the elbows or wrist occurs up to impact. The follow-through is individual, but it is usual for the player to wrap the arm and racket over the shoulder. The two-handed backhand is easier to learn than the one-handed backhand. There are only two body part movements involved in the stroke, which has many advantages over the one-handed backhand. Players and coaches should not discount the use of the two-handed backhand.
Mats moves towards the ball beautifully and leads out with his front leg. Notice the use of the hip and trunk rotation. His follow-through is quite individual as he lets go with his left hand just after impact. Richard shows how to hit a high ball, the two-handed backhand from behind the baseline. Notice the open stance, which allows for hip and trunk rotation. As well, the use of two hands adds to the strength of the stroke. Observe the racket movement behind Joe's back. As well, she shows throughout this stroke the use of the hip and trunk rotation. Note also her follow-through position. Paul's backhand is similar to a classical one-handed backhand, except it uses two hands. Notice the movement of the front leg towards the ball, the beautiful back lift behind his back and follow-through pattern, and the classic U-shaped swing. The next two shots show Jim Courier's quite individual backhand. Notice the short backswing and the use of the wrist. Just before impact, the racket rises very, very sharply. From this angle, you can see the movement of the racket behind Jim's back. He also has a beautiful step towards the ball. It's a combination of the movement behind his back, the step towards the ball, and the body rotation which gives Jim the power on his backhand.